Hey Adam, welcome to the show. This one's going to be a little bit different today. We're going to talk about what we've had fun with MMS over the years, because we think you should be going to you in the community should be going to the MMS event in May. So we're going to do a little bit of a retrospective. It'd be a clip show if it was a sitcom, but well, it's not a sitcom. We don't have the time to do that or the budget.
Nothing is recorded in MMS, so there's no clips. Yeah. Just memories.
Yeah, it'd just be a big square and a question mark, right?
Yeah. So what is MMS, Steve?
Well, MMS is the Midwest Management Summit. It's where we have like-minded community engineers coming in and talking around device management, and also look some of that cloud stuff as well, and some of the Azure stuff and data center stuff. But the primary goal is to talk around device management, where we're talking about config manager, we're talking about Intune, we're talking about modern management, Windows management, mobile management. Yay.
Without all the managers, though, which is kind of nice.
That's right. And that's probably the big call out, right? This is not an executive level briefing. This is not a managerial level briefing. This is, we are talking to you as the engineer at that level 400. It's not scary, but it's super interesting. There will be things where you'll go into rooms where you won't completely understand what the speaker's talking about. I know I've done that, and I'm just going, I didn't realize you could go that far with that technology. But it's interesting, and it allows you to sit there and step into that concept of what is everybody else in the industry doing? How are they leveraging this technology? How do I apply this for my job and or my next job? That's my opinion on it, Adam. So what's yours?
Well, so I'm relatively new in the space, even from this, I guess 2018, 2019 kind of time frame. I started really dabbling in the community, and didn't really realize there was a community around what we do, and was very surprised when I showed up at my first MMS in Phoenix, and I showed up as an attendee, and I left as a speaker, which was kind of nuts. I had an opportunity to jump in and do a session as a first-time attendee and speaker all in the same thing. And from that moment, I was blown away by the community, for one. So meeting the people whose blogs you read regularly, who are constantly contributing to the community, from everybody from MVPs to just people who love this and who just enjoy sharing what they do. And then the size of the conference makes it very easy to have one-on-one time with those people, with the speakers or other peers. The number of groups of people you find where you start having a side conversation about a topic, and you draw a crowd and you get lots of discussion. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced, but at every MMS I've been to since I started, it's been that way, and it's phenomenal. And it's the reason I keep going back, is for that community interaction, the people being able to meet you as the people, the community that we are sharing. Like, I blog, and we're making these videos for people, you who are watching. But we don't ever, if we don't get to see you at a conference, meet you at a conference, like, we don't know, are we hitting the mark? We'd love to shake your hand and hear your thoughts.
Well, maybe not shake the hand in COVID.
Fist bump, virtual fist bump. Yeah, I mean, something. Someday maybe we'll be able to do that. Watch out! I'm a big hugger, so watch out.
I was going to say we may even be able to get to the point where we're hugging again.
Yeah, I know. Chris Cripple, man, I'm after you, dude. So anyway, I think it's phenomenal that we get to get together and have these sessions that are super deep dive, and they're very long. Half of the session is designed to be Q&A. So we get to throw a topic out there, go really deep into it, and then sit back and just have a conversation. And it's phenomenal.
Definitely.
So I think, and so I guess we want to share at least some of the cool things that we have personally taken away, had as a takeaway from this, from just examples of, like, hey, we did this thing. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So where do we want to start?
Well, I think let's start at the start. The big one that Adam and I started collaborating on and built this relationship on was the hydration scripts that we wrote, where we created a full lab, built out script solution via PowerShell, via WhatsApp after Phoenix. We literally built the relationship out of committing code and building this script.
And I was all very started much, in a
I'm going to split it out onto 4 different servers. Adam was like, oh, you know what? I reckon we can put it all on one.
I can do it in one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we don't need 4 servers for this.
It's like, no, industry standards, best practices. Nah, I don't have the resources.
I just need a throwaway lab. I need to run it on a Surface Pro with 4 gigs of RAM. Surely I can.
Those were the days.
So, and that started. So MMS has these things that they call cabana sessions or cabin sessions, depending on what the theme is. But so in Phoenix, you go out by the pool, and they had the speakers and the Microsoft engineers rotating in, and you could book a slot, and they'll have that again at this one.
Well, you could just rock up.
And so I just went and sat out near there, and just anytime there was an opening, I ran in and sat and talked to people and told them what I was after. And anyway, me and Steve, were doing the same thing. And so at the time, Steve wasn't working for Microsoft, and so he wasn't on the docket. He was just an attendee. And so we found a spot, and we just started collaborating on this hydration kit. And then for months after that, we kept going. And then really we spent many, many hours just working, collaborating on code to build these things, which, they're still quirky and buggy and barely work, but they get the job done when we need them to. So
I still use it to this day. I'm literally spinning up labs. Yeah. I need a CM environment. All right, I'm going to run my script and I'll come back in 45 minutes.
Yep. And so from there, we went to the next MMS, which was in the fall, and then we went.
I think we missed something there, Adam. We had the Cabana session where we had the whole adventure around task sequences.
Oh yes.
Yes.
So back in the day, if you were to double click on a task sequence, you would get the properties dialog would pop up, and we at some point we went to the engineers, said, one of us did somewhere along the way, we said, hey, can we make this so that you can just double click on it and it'll edit? You just open the edit dialog. And they said, oh yeah, that's super easy. We'll just do that.
I'll do that like right now. It's like, what? He's like, yeah, but we need to make sure that that's what the community wants.
Yes. And so
we got on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, so Gary Block is one of he's one of the senior members of MMS. He's been there for forever, I believe. Gary was at Phoenix. I remember he was there. And we at the end, the last night, they got up to showcase all of the things that they had, all the code that they had checked in during the Cabana sessions.
Yep.
Which is phenomenal, because the engineers, they're sitting there writing code and fixing it as you tell them, hey, I'd like this cool feature. Easy wins. And so they open it up and they say, hey, look, Steve said we need to edit the task sequence on double click. But Gary said, we don't really want it to auto edit. We just wanted to show but we still wanted to be able to view it. And so when they showed it, they changed it to be view when you double click on it instead of edit when you double click on it, which from a security perspective and making sure people don't accidentally edit task sequences if they don't want to, makes total sense. But I love that it ended up being a collaborative effort, even without the collaboration piece of it. But that came out of these Cabana sessions, and so many features have come out of these things.
I think Dark Theme started its idea as a Cabana session. That's just in a tech preview. Or at least it started its idea at MMS, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There was, I can't remember the feature. It was something, but I remember getting so excited. I was sitting in the Cabana session at the next one, the one that's going to be Lumberjack theme again. And
is that public?
Well, yeah, it's got to be, sure. Well, it is now. Come on. Cut that part. Leave it in. So we were sitting there. I was sitting there with the engineer, and she was showing me the code that she had written, and she was very excited about it. And I said, "Oh, that's very similar to this other thing that someone in the community blogged about recently." And I sent her the blogs, and there was a couple. There ended up being a couple of them, and sent them to her. And by the end, she had coded all of those features. And I was tweeting out to the guy who wrote it. I said, "Hey man, check it out, check it out." I feel terrible because I can't find the tweets for it. But anyway, I thought it was so cool to be able to see that, by like in the beginning of the week, see her working on it, and she was so excited about it too.
Yep.
And then to see it on the screen at the end of the session was phenomenal. So cool.
Yeah, the hackathon mentality of those Cabana sessions and the Lumberjack sessions are just fantastic. Just blows me away every time I go there, having the conversations with the devs, with the engineers of what do you guys actually want improved in the product and how are you making it better? And then I think also at that MMS, we started talking, well, Adam was presenting, of course, because he's the rock star now and he's presenting. I think he had 6 sessions at 2019.
No,
it was a huge amount.
It was 4, maybe. I don't know, something.
Yeah. But one of those was around Store for Business in Config Manager. And then after his session, I go looking for Adam, and he's sitting there, this huge table, and there's like half a dozen people going through the process to set up Store for Business in their Config Manager environment because it's so simple. But nobody had thought to do it.
And at the time, everybody was doing like offline, downloading the files, and
yep.
I don't even think it was a thing out of a session. It was like we just were talking about it, and somebody said, "Wait, what? I didn't know you could do that," and it just snowballed. So I think I finally said, "Okay, meet me. Anybody that wants this, meet me over here at this time." And we just sat there, and I remember there was about 6 guys, and we were in their production environments, each enabling Store for Business and integration and Config Manager, and it was phenomenal. It was so cool.
So cool.
But I would say that the biggest impact that MMS has had, in my opinion, it has been IntuneTraining.
Yep.
Because
100%.
Steve and I didn't know each other before Phoenix. We met in Phoenix at the bar, hanging out where everybody was, and shared a beer. No, we didn't share beers. We had beers together, different beers, separately.
It was
so
that
we
type
sat
of
there.
night.
We just hung out, we met each other, hung out, and then we started collaborating on the stuff. But then in between there, when we made it to the next MMS, we sat down and really started talking seriously about how do we do this Intune thing for real. And at the time, I wasn't doing Intune. I was looking at Intune. I didn't really understand where I was going with it. And Steve had this genius idea of, hey, look, why don't we just, and really, honestly, it was, I'm trying to give you credit, but it wasn't you. It was Kathy.
Yeah, it was Kathy.
Kathy Moya said, why don't you just take us along on your journey? So show us how you're moving from on-prem to the cloud. Show us how you're getting from Config Manager to Intune and doing that. And so that's what we've been doing for the last 3 years with this channel. That is where that came from. And so after that, after that MMS, Steve sent me a meeting and said, "Hey, let's go. Let's do our one-time podcast."
No.
I thought it was one time, and Steve had a whole schedule. And
I knew the depth of the technology, whereas Adam was like, "Oh yeah, we'll just do this one thing. It's just Intune. It's simple. It'll just."
Nobody's talking about it, so it can't be that big a deal, right? It's just it's no big deal. And that has turned into this 3-year journey of bringing on 3 other guys. I think we're up to over 25,000 subscribers.
Yeah. And 25,000 subscribers.
And look, we understand that sometimes we miss the mark on our content, and we understand that we go off on tangents, and we are, winging it. We wing it pretty much the whole time. but this is who we are and this is what we enjoy doing. But ultimately, the number of individual messages and conversations we've had from people in the community over the last 3 years who have specifically told us, you have changed my career trajectory. I got this job because of your stuff. I'm sharing this with all of my coworkers. My whole team has been trained by you. We all got our start from watching your videos. Those pieces of feedback are phenomenal. And I think those are the testament to MMS's power, because we would have never started this without MMS. We would not have had that opportunity to get together. And it sparked this thing that became a vision that has turned into what this is today. And we, at times right now, like we are getting pulled in so many other directions, and maybe not living in like Steve's not living in the Intune world as much as he used to. And so we're trying still to get out some good content. But it's tough. But we appreciate the following, and we appreciate the love and support from the community. But ultimately, we just can't say enough about the importance of getting to MMS. Go to this conference, sign up for this thing, go and let it impact your life, because it has made a huge impact on ours and on other
100%.
people that we're touching from here.
Look, for me, the one thing that I always am so humbled about is, I was sitting in a meeting this week. I've sitting in more meetings than I'd like to sit in recently because, yay. But one of the guys had been off on training. He's like, so on the first day, they put up a slide of these are all the community things you should be going and looking at. And it's like, they're like, yeah, IntuneTraining was up there. And they're like, I know that guy. It's like, yeah, yeah. And honestly, going in and having or knowing people in other organizations doing the same thing that you're doing is invaluable. Number of meetings I go into where, you know what, first half hour, it's like, oh yeah, cool, you look familiar. And then it's, you're Steve from IntuneTraining. The whole conversation changes. So getting involved in the community can help your career trajectory so much. And this is where MMS helps with that. It helps you go in and just be yourself. We will accept you no matter what. Ish.
Ish. Nice.
You know, there's you know where it is, right?
Yeah. I'll throw out another one just to. So, and you know, it's not this isn't a self-promotional thing at all, but it's another thing that came out of an idea from MMS, which is Sysman Squad. You may have been there. So Sysman Squad's a blog that I started, I don't know, it's 2 years now, as a community blogging platform with the idea that, so MMS has a thing called Tips and Tricks. There's a session one night during the conference called Tips and Tricks, and it's an opportunity for the attendees to come up and spend 3 minutes presenting something. Just show us a cool thing that you've written, built, done, concept, code, whatever you got. 3 minutes, and then you get an opportunity. They were trying to incentivize, so you get an opportunity to win a laptop or free tickets back to the next conference or those sorts of things. And I remember sitting in Phoenix, and the line was wrapped halfway around the side of the ballroom, and the number of amazing tips that got up there. The best one was multi-line edit in SQL's Management Studio that Benjamin Reynolds got up and did, and the whole room just gasped, and it was phenomenal. It was hilarious. And then what was I did a tip. I got up and did a tip that was based on the new tech preview that was coming. And then I got to ship the tech preview. I got to hit the button to publish the code which was fun. But seeing the community get up and see so many people with amazing things to contribute, that don't have a blogging platform, that don't have regular content to share, but have that one or two, really cool ideas or things that they've built on top of other community solutions, just whatever that cool thing is that you're working on, having a place to share that. And so I thought, man, this is just, it goes away in the ether of the conference, and you don't get a chance to write down. It's 40, 50 tips. Like, well, I can't write all these down. I don't know. And being able to,
it's not recorded either. That's another advantage. And
so I said, let's start Sysman Squad. So it's yet another thing that kind of came out of that, of being able to have a place to, hey, share some things. If you don't want to regularly have a blog platform, let's get you some exposure on your ideas and things. So anyway, that's kind of going down a rabbit hole. But ultimately, man, it's a career-changing, life-changing conference. You're gonna build relationships and friends. You'll have people you can reach out to afterwards. It's the same people you're following on Twitter that you're reaching out to, but you get to put a face with a name, and there's no other place like it. It's phenomenal.
Yep, 100%. So make sure you sign up, register, and we'll see you at the Mall of America.
See you then.